Hey, 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 we're back. Oh, we're black. It's the new year, Brown Ambition.
You're just showing off with all the
Hey,
vocal cord strength that you have. You're giving me like Billie Holiday vibrato. It's just not nice to do that to me when I can't join in.
Mandy.
Oh gosh.
Well, this is past Mandy and Tiffany because we're taping in
Yes.
December. And although I know you're listening, this is the first show of the new year. But I'm in Kenya. Oh, I'm in Kenya, Mandy. What you doing?
I am surrounded by toys that I still have to put together, and wrapping paper is coming out of my eyeballs. And I'm in Atlanta, Georgia with my family for the new year.
Yeah. Yes. So that's where we will be by the time this airs. But we wanted to we don't want to leave y'all, alone on New Year's. So we figured we'll tape a special New Year. I'm so black New Year's with an S. We tape a special New Year episode to just talk about some of our financial goals, business goals, credit goals, I think this episode should really just be about kind of like forecasting what we'd like to see for the new year. And we would love if you guys share back with us, what you'd like. And then, maybe we can revisit at the end of the year, see how far we've come.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for me to move forward, I need to like look back at where I went this year. It's actually really helpful for like high achievers like us. Sometimes you're so busy achieving the stuff and doing the things that you just aren't so good at. Like my therapist is constantly like, do you feel it? What you're saying you did? Do you feel that you did it? And sometimes the answer is no. Like I don't actually, it doesn't sink in and you don't like appreciate it. Which can be really damaging because then you end up feeling like you have to keep striving and keep doing more, and then you get to be burnt out. But if I can look back at 2022 for my business, my Mandi Moneymakers this time last year did not exist yet. I had just gotten signups, like I had just announced enrollment, and it blows my mind that this thing did not even exist. But because of the faith of the women in my community, like signing up, like this has become the cornerstone of my business. And it was my goal to become businessly independent, where I was relying less on influencer stuff and like consulting. I had been doing consulting to kind of bankroll myself early on as I was doing free career coaching and stuff, just playing. And so I'm really proud that now Mandi Moneymakers has become such a big part of my business, and it has gone through. I didn't wait till it was perfect. I have iterated and changed it and iterated and changed it up until moving to an on-demand version as like in just this past September, relaunching. So I'm really proud of that. And as far as Mandi Moneymakers goes, thank you. As far as Mandi Moneymakers goes in 2023, I want to be able to say that Mandi Moneymakers have earned collectively like $1 million more through the power of negotiating and quitting their way rich. So I'm working on a process so that I can start tracking that, so that we can celebrate the growth, because that's what my vision was for Mandi Moneymakers, is like, there's going to be this force of women of color, especially, who are out here in the world and no one's going to see them coming, but we're sneaking up on everybody. We're negotiating like badasses, feeling we're able to walk away from bad situations and get better opportunities and earn more money. And I just want there to be this movement, of us not waiting around for pay equity, for taps on the shoulder, for new opportunities, and just seizing them for ourselves. And I'm very proud of that. So that's one of my big business goals for 2023. And, pay myself regularly would be nice.
Okay. So I'll do a business goal and then we can do personal goals. So last year, it was an interesting year because I closed, was it last year? I think. Yeah, I closed one of my businesses down. I had a marketing company, and it just, although I'm not gonna lie, like profits were good when we had them. I just couldn't spread myself any more thin. So I closed that business down. Plus two, after Jarrell passed away, I was just like, I don't want to do it. Also last year, my online school, this past year, my online school did okay. Not as good as like our peak when we made like $10 million in a year. We'd made about like half that, It was like, it definitely limped along a little bit because this is the year I also stepped down as CEO. And so the new CEO had a huge learning curve. But I'm proud to say, we more than broke even. It's not we weren't profitable. We just weren't as profitable as we normally are. So, we didn't have to dip into emergency savings. Everybody got paid. Everybody got their bonuses, all the things. It just wasn't that when I was running it, it wasn't as profitable. We didn't make as much. But I mean, honestly, I know on the surface, I could tell for the CEO, she was like, oh, Tiffany, I'm like, girl, I have 15 years in the game. The fact that your first year in under duress, you were able to do this is tremendous. So shout out to Tam. Yeah. She was awesome. And then, but the Budgetnista was the surprise sleeper. Sis woke all the way up because for the last 6 years, I really did the Budgetnista in my spare time, basically. I know it didn't seem like it, but I did. I was really focused on my online school because it took a lot. We had at our peak, 30 employees. So I was really running that business. And so I just when Budgetnista things came up, I would do them, but I wasn't, the Budgetnista, people would be shocked that in comparison to what it made to the Academy, it didn't make much, because I just was like, anything that just randomly came in, sure. But it didn't have a business model, but this year, because I stepped away from the Academy, I've been able to focus on the Budgetnista, which I love. That's always my first love. And it's done really well, I remember I was talking to Anjali, my financial advisor, and I was like, oh, the Budgetnista is doing really well, in comparison to the years before. It's always been profitable, but it's made twice as much. And she was like, yeah, because you're there. And it took me a while for it. Honestly, Mandi, it still has not sunk in that sauce sold separately, that I bring the sauce. Isn't that crazy after 15 years that it's like, oh, wow, when I left here, this didn't do as well. Yeah, girl, because you're not there. When I came here, this did well. Yeah,
can't be the Budgetnista.
Yes. So
it's the Budgetnista.
It's like, Tiffany, it's you. You do well because it's you. Wherever you go, there you are. And so I was just like, okay. And so, all in all, honestly, it was a good year. As far as if you look at I guess, balance sheets and whatever. Certainly there was there's a lot of rockiness in navigating what does it look like to take a step back. Cause at, one point I just was not emotionally, physically capable of showing up in any way, Budgetnista or otherwise. So despite me not being here half the year, like I said, the Budgetnista has done well. So my goal for Budgetnista in 2023 is, it's not even necessarily to make more money. Certainly we have some revenue goals or whatever. But we've done the Budgetnista, our margins are so good. I mean, some months we're 80% profit just because it's if I speak for the thing, I don't have to fly myself out. I don't pay for a hotel. I don't have to you know what I mean? It's pure profit typically. Yeah. So, which is not good. I'm not going to lie. 80% profit sounds great, but it's not good for business because then that means you just pay all these taxes. But my goal for Budgetnista is to continue to be profitable. To stay small, because I don't want that 30-person business again. I want to ask myself to stay small and to really hammer down what we're in the business of, which is community and content. And so now we've monetized the blog. We're monetizing the community and just in being more intentional with that. And so that's really my goal. My business goal is to stay small, let the revenue do what it's going to do, which is great. It's I've already locked in, which is so great. Oh, I'm a Mandi moneymaker. And I have a testimony. Mandi. Yes, girl. So,
really?
Yeah, okay. A huge testimony, a 7-figure testimony as a result of Mandi. So, yes. So, I didn't even tell, Mandi's looking wait, I didn't even tell Mandi this because I just found this out less than, maybe a few days ago. So, one of the things I said for Budgetnista was okay, I'm raising my rates. And, remember we had the hot seat where I asked you questions and I wanted to get better at negotiating. So I asked Mandi, I said, I'm raising my rates. I'm basically doubling them because the Netflix came out and who does that? And so as a result, people got to pay more. And you gave me one of the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten when it comes to negotiating. For real. Mandi said, because Mandi, you have to understand, has also been on the brand side of she's on the other side with me, the influencers over here having a good time, but Mandi's been on the brand side way longer than the influencer side. So she was I'm letting you know, as someone who's been on the brand side, Q4, we're getting our coins together for next year. And that if you're going to raise rates so dramatically, which is your right, Tiffany, you deserve, you should hit up everyone you've worked with and say, just an FYI, this is how it's looking for 2023. Because what you don't want them to do is lock in their budget and then being wait, what? But you were 50 last year. You're 100. Had I known, and I was nervous to do that. And you were do it. And so I put together the new media kit with all the new numbers and my new rates. And I gave it to Ellie, my spokesperson agent. And I told Ellie, anybody that's reached out, anybody that we work with, please circulate it. Do you know, girl, that for 2023, there was pushback at first, like, but already for 2023, I have locked in $1.2 million worth of business because of that move. Mandi, yes.
Really?
That move. And honestly, I have never locked in business before. Yes, literally. Like, y'all think we just be talking over here.
Down the pike.
Yes, literally. Yes. I literally don't know what the year's going to be. Typically, what it looks like is that people come to me, I want to work with you. This is how much it costs. I have never pre-locked in business a year before like this before. I was like, so when my CFO, she's like, I have some amazing news for you. I was like, okay. She's like, we have $1.2 million in business. I was like, for the year? She's like, no, girl, we made more than that. She's like, for 2023. I said, I don't understand. Because it was a foreign concept to have pre-money paid out, not paid out, but, pending. And she was like, no, because, you circulated your new rates. Although there was initial shock, people got their feet together and their money together and said, we want to lock Tiffany in now for next year. I was like, so when if you are not invested in Mandi Moneymaker, Mandi just helped me make $1.2 million in business. Yo, for real. That's a real testimony. I forgot. I don't even know. I forgot.
Did you get my contract where I said I get 15% of everything? Did it not come through? I'll send another PDF. No, that's amazing. Yeah. And it's not just the fact that like strategically it's the right time for their budgets. It also gives this perception, which is true, that you're a hot commodity. Yes. And if they don't book you while they can and make sure they can book you, that you will be booked by someone else. So that's fantastic.
Girl, your stuff
I want to do that for myself.
Yes. No, and you know what? What's so crazy is that so much so to your point, what you just said, Mandi, that one of them wants to book me for a multi-year deal. Because they're like, oh, this girl about to be raising rates. Like,
the price going to go up next year too. Yes.
They're like, so I just was like, when I tell you, y'all think we just be playing. I ordered Mandi's, negotiation like toolkit so I paid for it, and thankfully I get to talk to Mandi. And so this is her expertise. So I just share that to say that that's, the goal for next year. Basically, my revenue goals, I know I'm going to hit them because we're like more than halfway there. It's really just for the business to get really clear on what does the budget needs to do. It has a blog, spokesperson, speaking, books, getting really clear on the business that I'm in and getting rid of the fluff. The year for next year is really deep versus wide, clearing out all these little small things I was doing. Like, no. I do these 4 core things and here's how we make money doing so. And so that's like my business goal for next year. So I was like, So what about your personal, any personal financial, business, career goals?
Personal goals, rebuild my savings. You mentioned what a heavy saver I was. Mm-hmm. Nothing like a couple of years of bootstrapping your own business to deplete the savings that you built. So I guess it's a personal financial goal is to rebuild savings, which it looks like I'll be on track to do, which is exciting, and have this baby and give myself. My goal is to be able to spend at least a few months without doing anything major work-wise and have this baby and just enjoy it. I was so privileged. I look back in hindsight, it was obviously so freaking hard to have a newborn during the pandemic with no help, no village, and working full-time. But at the same time, I was such a part of Rio's early months. I mean, I'm a part of his every day. I've never really been away from him. And I want to have that same experience, maybe not with the pandemic hanging over my head and with some more, daycare and nanny support, but just to be really present and enjoy number 2 when they join us this spring would be a big goal of mine.
My goal is do less. When I say do less what I'm obligated to do. I'm taking all of March off. I'm taking all of March. What did I say? March, August, and December. And so I'm taking those months off I might go somewhere. I might not. Well, that's not true. So I am. Like in March, I already booked Egypt. So I'll be going, you know what I'm saying? Not for the whole month, but, but I'm wanting to, my biggest personal goal as it relates to business and stuff like that is to really get clear on living as Tiffany and forcing the Budgetnista to fit around it. Because for the last 15 years, I've lived as the Budgetnista and Tiffany has fit around, you know,
Yeah.
That. And I'm just like, yeah, which is nothing wrong with that. At that stage, I don't begrudge that because I'm just like, it brought me here, where I don't have to work if I don't want to, where I live off 10% of what I make and I get to travel. So I'm not mad at that, but I'm beyond that. I have passed that and I stayed longer than probably I should have in that space. Like I always tell Logan, my content manager, why are we in launch mode if we're not launching? Like sometimes you scramble. It's like, yeah, but or when you're rushed to get home. Okay, is the dog not fed? Like, I can understand you're rushing because you're late for work, but you're not rushing because you're late for home. Woosah in traffic. So I'm learning to be like, I'm no longer rushing. I'm no longer having to make a certain amount of money. My fancy life costs me $150,000 a year. And that's super fancy. That's vacations on vacations on vacations. My regular life costs me under $100,000 a year because I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car note. So meaning that that's less than 10% of what I make as take home. So I don't need to, I could be a teacher and manage the life that I have now. So I'm just like, if we're not launching, we're not living in launch mode, Tiffany. So really for me, it's like, not to say you won't see me doing work, but it will only really saving space for the work that's aligned since I don't have to make more. It would be great if the Budgetnista made 20, 30 million. Oh, okay, that's cute. But not if it means extra work because I don't need 20, 30 million dollars, And so, I just want peace. I want alignment. I want to travel a bunch. I want to I've been spending a lot of time with friends. That's why I said, Mandy, I'm going to come see you because I've been making it my, really making a concerted effort to spend time with the people I care about. To sit on your couch, to go out to eat, to, you know what I mean? And so I've been doing that more and more. I've seen more friends in the last 2 or 3 weeks that I have sometimes in the last 2 or 3 years of being like, no, I can do lunch. Yeah, I come to the city. We can have dinner. That was never me before. It's like, oh girl, I can't. I got to do this.
Yeah. It's like a year of yes, but for your friendships and your personal life.
And, my family and, so I'm excited about that because honestly, I feel I actually had therapy today and I was telling Dr. Green, there's a lot of joy. This time of year, this time of year, this holiday / New Year time of year, it's certainly there's a lot of the sads, for sure. Because I kind of feel a little anchorless, because there's so much change, but, there's still so much joy. She said something. She said, Tiffany, you are surrounded by love. And I really am. I did not see this time last year, but I see it very clearly now. Mm-hmm. I am literally drowning in love from family, from friends, from y'all.
Jarrell's homegoing is it sounds messed up, but I really mean it. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That room, that, the love that I felt in that space, I'm just it's not every day you see that sort of envelopment completely of love.
Yes.
And it's obviously because you attract it because you are love, and so was he. But truly, that is what everyone should be striving for.
Yeah, and just blooming where you're planted.
That was so much love.
Jarrell, he wasn't a speaker or teacher or whatever, and to see how many people came out for him. So just my personal goal is less really focusing on just family, friends, doing the professional things that actually bring me joy, not because it necessarily brings money. And hopefully getting a fabulous condo. I want, I've never had a fabulous, my house is beautiful and comfy and cozy, but I wouldn't say it's fabulous. You know what I mean? You walk in, you're like, oh, fabulous, honey. Oh, it's money in here. So I'm before I leave this earth, I want to have a fabulous hunt. Where it's don't bring the kids.
Sharp edges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, leave the kids at home.
It's a non-kid, because right now my house is so kid-friendly, girl. You can leave. You can have a preschool up in this house because it's so cozy and warm. I'm honey. So I'm looking forward to 2023. I think it's just really going to be a banner year. We'd love to hear from you guys. Oh, one thing before I forget, can't remember when this is airing, but if you haven't already, you want to get on Financial Track. I haven't done this so many years. Mandy, I'm finally bringing back my literature challenge, the free challenges. Yes. And so
that's the best I can do with my voice.
And so they're totally free 3-week courses. I used to do them every year, but it's been 4 years since I launched it. Already over 200,000 people have signed up. And so if you're interested, you you go to livericherchallenge.com. If you sign up now, you can do it collectively with everyone because we'll be all doing it together. There's we use this Mighty Network chat spot where we can all hang out, talk every day about the challenge and work through the challenges together. But the good thing is that it also be automated later. So if you're not ready, you want to do it in February or March, you can still take it again. But, I just encourage you in January to get going on your financial goals and making it a team sport. And if you don't have support, that's why we do it like this. So it's your sister and them don't want to do it. That's all right. You'll find some sisters in that group. So it's just livericherchallenge.com.
Man, that takes me back to the OG Budget Nista days.
I know.
I remember interviewing you on Yahoo about your first LRC and then going to that party in Newark.
Yes.
To celebrate.
And we did the wobble. I remember you were in the store. Yes. You were like, I've never been to a financial party where they did the wobble.
Oh, it was so good. I love it.
So
congrats. That's so exciting. Y'all got to join. LiveRicherChallenge.com. All right. Bye, 2022. It was nice seeing you.
I know.
2023, bring it. All right. Y'all let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at the BA Podcast or at the Budget Nista. I'm at Mandi Woodruff. Hit us up and let us know what you loved about 2022 and what you have to look forward to in 2023. Let's keep it positive. Keep the goals doable, trackable, set realistic goals that you can get done. But let's make it let's make it a great year as best we can.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.